The Appalachian Mountains, one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world, stretching over 1,500 miles across North America. But beyond their natural beauty, these mountains conceal something far more unsettling, mysteries that defy explanation, eerie disappearances, and chilling legends passed down through generations. What is really happening deep within these ancient forests? Today, we delve into some of the most baffling theories surrounding this region. Are you ready? Every year, hundreds of people vanish without a trace in the Appalachian Mountains. Of course, accidents happen. But what about the cases that defy all logic? Let's discuss one of the most infamous disappearances. Dennis Martin, a 6-year-old boy, went missing on June 14, 1969, while camping with his family in Spence Field, an area straddling the border between Tennessee and North Carolina. The Martin family was experienced in hiking and well acquainted with the region. On the day of his disappearance, Dennis and his brother were playing a game of hide-and-seek with other children from their group. The plan was for Dennis to hide and surprise the adults. However, when the other children reappeared, Dennis was nowhere to be found. His father, William Martin, immediately began searching. He ran nearly 2 miles down the trail within 5 minutes, calling his son's name, but found no trace of him. Family members and other campers joined the search that night, but no clues surfaced. Search efforts escalated quickly, growing into one of the largest rescue operations in the history of the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. The FBI, National Guard, and thousands of volunteers participated in the mission. However, several factors complicated the search. The dense forest, filled with deep ravines, made navigation difficult. Just 2 days after Dennis vanished, a torrential downpour swept through the area, potentially erasing any tracks. Ironically, the overwhelming number of searchers may have inadvertently trampled over crucial evidence. At one point, Special Forces trackers claimed to have found small, barefoot prints that seemed to belong to a child. However, the trail was lost near a stream. The prevailing theory is that Dennis simply got lost and succumbed to the harsh wilderness. Yet, this does not explain the complete lack of evidence. Another eerie aspect of the case is the involvement of the FBI and the alleged lack of transparency in their investigation. Some paranormal theorists believe the government knows more about disappearances in national parks than it lets on, suppressing information to prevent public panic. Why did the FBI become involved so quickly in a child's missing person case? Why were certain details about the search for Dennis never disclosed? Dennis Martin's case is part of a broader pattern of strange vanishings in U.S. national parks, many of which have been documented by researcher David Paulides in the Missing 411 series. These cases share perplexing similarities: sudden weather changes at the time of disappearance, strange noises like humming or untraceable sounds, animals exhibiting unusual behavior, such as birds going silent or search dogs unable to pick up a scent. Some witnesses reported hearing strange noises and spotting shadowy figures lurking in the distance. Were they merely wild animals, or something far more sinister? Local legends tell of strange entities roaming the forests. From the infamous Wendigo to eerie humanoid figures, countless reports describe glowing eyes watching from the trees and bone-chilling screams echoing through the mountains at night. Are these mere folktales, or does the government know something we don't? A man once claimed to be followed by something big and silent while hiking. He was an experienced climber, accustomed to long treks and solitary nights in the woods. In the fall of 2003, he embarked on a solo climb in a remote part of the Appalachians, an area known for its challenging trails and near-total isolation. The first day was uneventful, the weather was perfect for hiking. But as the sun set and darkness swallowed the forest, he began to feel uneasy, a persistent sense of being watched. On the second day, as he reached a ridge of steep cliffs, he finally saw something, or thought he did. A tall, distorted shadow moved between the trees atop the hill. It was impossible to tell if it was an animal, a person, or something entirely different. A primal instinct told him to run, but the treacherous terrain made that impossible. Instead, he pressed on, trying to maintain his composure. That night, he chose not to set up camp. He walked non-stop, his flashlight flickering in the darkness, until he stumbled upon an abandoned hunting shelter. Locking himself inside, he tried to sleep, but couldn't. In the dead of night, he heard it again. Footsteps. Slow, deliberate, circling the shelter. As if something was waiting for him to step outside. When dawn finally broke, he forced himself to continue his trek. Nearing the last stretch before reaching a small village at the base of the mountain, a sudden chill ran down his spine. Absolute silence. No wind. No birds. Nothing. He didn't dare look back. He only quickened his pace, not stopping until he was far beyond the tree line. What had followed him? He never found out. He only described it as something big, but soundless, something that shouldn't exist in these forests. From that day on, he never hiked alone again. What if the Appalachian Mountains are being used for top-secret experiments? Certain areas are completely off-limits to civilians, and strange radio signals have been picked up with no clear source. For decades, travelers and locals have reported sightings of strange lights hovering over the mountains, moving erratically, flashing in bizarre patterns, and then vanishing into thin air. Some witnesses describe glowing orbs floating through the trees, seemingly observing those who pass. Others speak of beams of light appearing out of nowhere, illuminating clearings at night, only to disappear the moment someone approaches. Hikers and amateur radio operators have also reported picking up strange transmissions while trekking through the Appalachians. These signals, often heard on unregistered frequencies, consist of eerie static, distorted voices, random number sequences, and even indecipherable whispers. One of the most famous cases involved a hiker carrying a portable radio. As he walked along an isolated trail, the device suddenly emitted an intermittent signal, followed by a monotone voice reciting a sequence of numbers. He tried to change the frequency, but the signal persisted for nearly an hour before vanishing completely. Later research revealed no known broadcasts on that frequency. Mysterious sirens and alarms have been heard echoing through the Appalachian Mountains, particularly in remote communities and near military bases. Many residents report hearing sirens in the dead of night, yet no emergency alerts are ever issued. A witness in Kentucky recalled hearing an ear-splitting siren around 2 a.m. near his forested home. Expecting a storm warning, he checked his phone, nothing. Other residents heard it, too, but no one could determine the source. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the siren stopped, and the forest fell into an unnatural silence. Are these warnings, military tests, or something more ominous? If the sirens aren't meant for the locals, then who, or what, are they warning? Are these just myths and coincidences, or is there truly something to fear? If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more mysteries. Until next time, if you're still here.